Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Vintage at the request of Patreon subscriber Andy. And additionally, at the request of Patreon subscriber Andy, I'm going to shout out the United Wizards of the Coast, CWA. This is an attempt to unionize the MTG arena workers. They have signed commitments from a supermajority of their staff. They've presented it to Wizards. Wizards has not recognized the union voluntarily, and they've hired a famous union-busting law firm. As somebody who led a collective action push in my last job before I became a full-time YouTuber and successfully unionized a school with about 140 employees, this is a huge deal. It's very important. And if you want to support them, unitedwizardsofthecoast.com is the place to go. And they have a support us tab where you can sign a public petition, and then they'll keep this updated with other ways that you can support them in the future. Important stuff. We love this game. Billion-dollar companies are not the friend. That said, here we go. Vintage. Today I'm choosing to further explore this big blue flow state stock up Lorien revealed card advantage shell. And what I'm doing a little differently than everyone else is, for one, last time I played this, there were no wastelands in the deck. And now there are 5. That's something the community has innovated on. The wastelands were a huge deal when I played the blue-white version, after I played the Jeskai version without them. And a card two of my criticisms of the Jeskai version last time I played it was we were a very bad Lurrus deck, which adding just something as simple as Soul Guide Lantern can change. This obviously helps in a subset of matchups as well. Being in the main deck gives you an out there, and it's just something you can loop with Lurrus. And another thing I didn't like was how bad 4th Air Lingus felt. However, I loved how Monastery Mentor felt in the non-Lurrus version I played. So here's 2 copies of cori-steel Cutter. Trying these out. It might be, like 1 might be the right number, 0 might be the right number, 4 might be the right number. I'm not sure, but I'm trying 2 here. I want to see it often enough that we have a chance with it, but it's not completely the game plan. And the goal with a deck like this one is just keep having more cards in your hand than your opponent and answering what they do until they're out of stuff to do. And then you can win with whatever's left. Cori-steel Cutter, just like Monastery Mentor, its father, is perfect for that because it generates killing them while you're doing the other thing you're supposed to do, which is draw cards and answer their stuff. You just get it kind of along the way rather than having to figure out a good turn to cast something like 4th Air Lingus or Tinker or White Bloom Adventurer or the other things decks like this are using to win. Trying to keep it smooth. And of course, this is a Lurrusable permanent if it gets answered. This is Jeskai Flow State. That's my current testing innovation. Let's do it. The weekend of July 11th, I'll be headed to Baltimore for the DMV Legacy League's Triple Threat Weekend. CubeCon DMV is the heart of the event, featuring 3 drafts of elite curated cubes with a cut to top 8 on Sunday. Saturday, you can test your mettle in the DMV Legacy League's annual Legacy Open, the Classic. And Sunday, join the NYC Pauper League in Pauper Genesis, the biggest Pauper event in North America to date. And best of all, the event is for charity. Sign up at dmvll.com/BoshNRoll. Save $20 if you sign up for the Classic before June 1st. I'll see you there. I'm on the draw in round 1 with a hand that might be a little dicey, but I think is in the range of keeps. Mox Ruby can cycle Lorien Revealed, which gets my lands online to start Thunder Trapping. I have a Force of Will. Obviously, I'd prefer a little bit more stable mana here. Something like Null Rod or Sphere of Resistance, Collector Roof. It could make my day really hard, but I don't think this is a mulligan. Opponent's on 6, Moment of Truth. Mox Sapphire. Brainstorm. Interesting. Okay, so they're a blue non-Lurrus strategy. This could be a bigger version of my own deck. It could be Doomsday, could be some sort of Tinker deck. Certainly looking like a version of my own strategy. Snow-covered island. All right, that was a great draw. Now I don't have to Force of Will a Spell Pierce, which was live there. And now I can just get straight into the trap. Big looks. Time Walk stock up. I already have a stock up. I like a Time Walk. Mystical Tutor. All right, 2 cards left. Do you have Flusterstorm, Spell Pierce, or a Force Blue card? I guess the Spell Pierce is good enough. It has to be Force Blue card here. Force pitching, second Thunder Trap. Moment of Truth. Is your hand perfect? It is, which isn't surprising. This is Vintage. They built this deck on purpose the way they did. Now, there's a Bolus of Citadel in play. They do have a land drop. If there's a counterspell on top, oh, bad news. Well, Tez getting Sensei's top means they can't get stuck on Bolus of Citadel anymore. All right, one Force Will, not quite good enough. Yeah, so the way this works is if the top of your deck is a spell, you can play it with Bolus of Citadel. If it's not, you can draw a card with top and then pay 1 life to cast top off the top of your deck. This is not a spot I'm willing to concede yet, but it is very bad. This also puts Tezzeret at ultimate loyalty for next turn, which doesn't really matter. Ultimating is not what this thing's for. And it's already been used this turn. Stock up into Ancestral, 7 cards in hand. Bolus of Citadel, hell of a card. And there was no spot where interacting would have benefited me. Like forcing the Mystical Tutor, they still force back. Yeah, they just had force blue card back up. That's all there is to it. Okay, oh, you're also a PO deck. That's the only reason to tap like this. Hell yeah. Okay, now Tez can be activated again. Tez is back. Time Vault, and they did not foolishly redeploy their Mana Crypt. Not yet. I'll give them the opportunity, I guess. God. They just used Tez to search for Manifold Key. I guess that's the same thing, ultimately. Might as well get paid here. Okay. With Tezzeret, they didn't replay the Mana Crypt, and Tezzeret is a face-up win con. Don't have to keep going there. A Pyroblast. Stony Silence. I don't think I need Swords to Plowshares here. A Braid is reasonable. Soul Guide Lantern. This deck might have Yawgmoth's Will in it, but I think I'd rather fight that on the stack than try to Soul Guide Lantern it. I can back off 1 cori-steel cutter, because killing them fast isn't my job. Being alive is my job. I could probably cut Basic Island in this matchup if I wanted a Consign to Memory in. I guess I do. We've seen Tezzeret. Basic Island. And pre-boarded a little bit here. This is a conversation I had with, I'm actually level 1, about building these decks. There's no Mana Crypt in my deck, which means I can't turn 1 stock up, but it also means I don't have the Mana Crypt to board out when I bring in my Stony Silences. Still not sure if you just want the full boat of fast mana or not, versus the Cryptless, or if you're only going to play 1, maybe it should be Crypt over Soul Ring. I don't know, that's being determined. But it's fun to have something to think about. Okay, 1 more cut here. I could cut the Soul Ring and go Mono Moxen. Oh, Emerald versus Soul Ring is interesting. Emerald costs 0 and get things going better, but Soul Ring is worth more mana after that point. Okay, I'll try this. Okay, this is a turn 1 stock up. I'm gonna keep. I don't have the force I would hope for. I don't think this opponent would bring in Mindbreak Trap against me. I don't have to think about that too much. Flooded Strand, Mox Ruby, Soul Ring, Fetch. I'll get Tundra because I have Red Mox already. Stock up. This is worth a force. Pitching Paradoxical Outcome. I will pass the turn. Oh, if I'm still alive, come my next turn. Okay, so they want my Soul Ring out of here. I respect that. That doesn't stop me from casting Ancestral Recall and a fully powered Soul Ring, or fully powered Flow State right now. Ooh, interesting. That was a pretty soft start for my opponent. All right, I'm going to Ancestral first. Force of Negation. Clever, that keeps me off the other thing that I wanted to do. Right, I'll take the Wasteland then. I should be better at playing a low resource game than them. But if they suddenly have a bunch of resources, that could change. Mox Ruby. Thunder Trap Trainer. I'm holding out hope that this flow state could do 2 things. Okay, force of Negation into my hand, and I have the mana to hardcast it next turn. Probe, have a peek. And no follow-up. I'm going to get my Surveil land here. Again, I have red mana with Mox Ruby already. Low state, another one. I will put that on top. That'll be good eventually. Attack with Thunder Trap. And I'm going to buy Lurrus this turn. Having up hardcast force is nice, but I don't think my opponent can do anything, and the force is known, so even if they could do something, they might choose not to. Not fighting over random manifold keys. A Wasteland, okay. Attack with Thunder Trap, and I'll just develop Lurrus here. It might be weird to leave Wasteland up instead of red. I'm not even bluffing Pyroblast, but I don't have Pyroblast, so it's kind of a bad bluff to sell that. And they're so desperate that any spell they have, they'd have to play anyway. Oh, look at me. Fucking rewarded genius for that Wasteland leaving it up. This is why I make the big bucks. Oh, right in the Anor. This turns on flow state and goes completely nuts. Attack. And do I want to do this on their upkeep or now? I could have a land drop now. It would cost them mana on their own turn for Pyroblast if I do it on their upkeep. And I can protect it with my own thing. Target player draws 2, destroy target artifact. Honestly, there's cases for all of these artifacts, but I'm going to go after their mana. And even if this does get countered, I end up with an instant in the graveyard. Now both of these flow states are unlocked. The patience rewarded there rather than just jamming it off for one card 3 turns ago. Cool. Okay. So they're just non-Lurrus Jeskai PO. Got it. I don't think I'm changing anything here. I could see Pithing Needle naming Time Vault just take, or Tezzeret takes a bunch of pressure off things that could go wrong. But I just have so much game against that sort of thing anyway. I'm just going to hit submit with the same 60. Okay. Pretty good hand. I'll keep it. Man, violated. Gitaxian Probe. Opponent knows everything. Pull it to the side and get all up in it. Mox Ruby. Soul Ring. Mox Jet. Tezzeret. I don't think I want this to happen. I'm going to force pitching Lorien. Island, Ancestral Recall. Yeah. I get it. Your hand's good. Mox Ruby would be a huge draw here. Too much to hope for, I suppose. Okay, so Strip Mine and a Braid are similar things here. And they only have 1 blue, but they do have 4 cards in hand, and that could change quickly. A Braiding Soul Ring takes multiple options away, or multiple mana away. I'm going to go after this blue. If I can screw them on blue, I think I just have to be okay with that. I might play differently if they hadn't just Gitaxian Probe me, but they know almost everything. Manifold Key. I'm quitting Magic. I hate my life. All right, yeah, if I just held up a Braid, that can't happen, but with 4 cards in hand, I mean, this is a restricted card, and this card wasn't in play, so what do you want me to do? I think I would make that same play most of the time. On to the next round.
The NYSE Open is returning on June 6, 2026 to Long Island, New York. This proxy-friendly vintage tournament has the guaranteed prize pool of 8 pieces of Power 9 to be drafted by the top 8 based on final standings. Any additional profits made from the event will be added to the prize pool as on-site vendor credit. This tournament has been great the last 2 years. How often do you get to act sad about winning just a time walk? You know I'll be there. See you at the NYSE Open on June 6 on Long Island, New York. Use my link in the video description or find the New York Stacks Exchange on melee.gg.
I am on the play with no blue or red mana against a non-Lurrus deck. I don't think I can keep this hand. If I were certain my opponent was on Dredge, there's an argument. Is this hand defensible versus white initiative? I mean, there are white initiative opens. I mean, I'm just gambling on whether I draw a blue source before I'm dead, no matter what, so I'll mulligan this. Okay, reward with a much better hand. This is vintage. Okay, I will keep, and I think flow state goes away here. Stock up is more powerful, so I could flow state plus thunder trap. That's still worse than stock up. Do I want the tap land, I guess? Yeah, I think I still do. All right, flow state to the bottom. I would love it if my opponent serum powdered and just let me know for sure what you're up to. On a mull to 5. Okay, they've kept the 5. Black Lotus. All right, my opponent is blatantly F6'd here. Blue, Soul Ring. Stock up with a blue floating. I still have my land drop. Okay. I could Gitaxian Probe so I know what's going on. There are a lot of red cards in this pile. I think I want Force of Will and Flow State. Because Flow State's on next turn if I force this turn. And at this point, I don't think it matters what's in their hand. All right, I'm going to take Force and Flow State. And they're on a mull to 5. They're an on-Lurrus deck. I have Force of Will in my hand. You know, what bets are we making here? Another Flow State. I could have cast Thunder Trap there, but I wanted that as a blue card. All right, I mean, this is the world I signed up for. Pass the turn. Wasteland sets me back pretty far. Workshop, okay. We're just shopping it. shopping around a little bit. Scrawly crawly. I do have a bunch of plows in my deck. I think I would prefer that this is not here, and this turns on the flow states, which is the whole plan I put in place. Well, my opponent just told me in chat some exciting news. Merlion Games, which is an LGS in the Bay Area, who I did some promo for when they first opened, and I know one of the co-owners, Ori, they posted the other day that somebody made a giant trade. It was like a ton of cards for a set of power, and they were like a new vintage player is born, and I retweeted it with like the One of Us Wolf of Wall Street meme. This is that player. They just told me in the chat. This is a brand new vintage Power 9 owner. Oof. Okay. These are not cards you really want to see in this matchup. I'm taking the stock up, and I'll take cori-steel cutter. That's a way to apply pressure at some point. I was really hoping for the second blue source to double flow state there. Grim Monolith, Tezzeret, untapping Grim Monolith. There's another card. Oh, all right. Well, I'm on notice that I'm dead here. I can't untap it right now because Tess has already been used, but it's literally on board. Valorian revealed. All right, what can I even do here? It's like nothing, right? My Black Lotus is already spent, so any lines to cast Flame of Anor don't exist. I can't. So if I cycle Valorian Revealed, I'll have 3 mana left. That's enough to play cori-steel cutter, but even if I had another spell, that's not enough damage to kill Tezzeret, and then it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm just cooked. Didn't take the Flame of Anor when I saw it, but I also didn't have red when I saw it. Ran out of Force of Wills. I guess I'll stock up to see my options, but I'm pretty sure I'm just dead. Oh, no mana among here either. Okay. Yeah, maybe some sequence of like, maybe I had to flow state there. So if I flow state and find land time walk, and that buys me another turn where I have enough mana to top deck Flame of Anor, maybe that was the out. Okay, we're against Raker Shops. These Fluster Storms are coming out. Graveyard Hate's coming out. My opponent has Scrawly Crawlies and Glaring Flesh Rakers in their deck. I'm feeling like 1 might be the right number of cori-steel cutters to play. Just in the main deck if I'm going to board one out every round. But like I said, I felt that way when I put the deck together. It was just a matter of I wanted to see the card for testing purposes. Taxian Probe, I don't care what's in your hand. And I guess that Emerald is going out again. Okay, here we go. Kind of the same deck as my last run opponent, but on a completely different engine, which is funny. Welcome to Vintage. All right, speaking of Welcome to Vintage, turn 1 Stony Silence. Sucks I have 2 Moxen in this hand, but you know, that's what I signed up for as well. I even boarded 1 out. But I am happy to see the first one, because that gets the Stony Silence moving. A Mox Pearl. I don't think my opponent will have Mindbreak Trap, but I can play around it anyway. Yeah, I can abrade most things that would come out of this. Yeah, there it is. That's fine. Snapcaster. Do I want to draw an extra card, is the question. I could let Scrawling Crawler trigger. Then we both have an extra card. I think I want the extra card. Okay. Destroy target artifact in response to its trigger, so I don't take damage, but we do both still draw a card. Land. I'm happy with that. 5 mana showing. And this is where the invisible effect of something like Stony Silence really kicks in, because my opponent might have a phenomenal hand that just dumpsters me through this thing. Okay. 1 ring that you get protection, but you can't activate, I have to be okay with. Like, their hand might just be 6 cards like the 1 ring and actually sucks. Or it could be like Razor and Main Masticore, Tezzeret, doing a bunch of shit, whatever. Okay, do I Wasteland or do I work my way up to Snap Upraid? I think I want to Wasteland this Mishra's Workshop. I'll take that one on the run. Talon Gates, don't care. Glaring Fleshraker, I care a little bit about that one. Mox Sapphire. Alright, they're getting a little bit of damage here. Doing some stuff. Sapphire, Pearl, 1 ring, Ruby. Okay, so the Stony Silence was worth 4 cards and counting. I'm gonna get my Surveil and Thundertrap Trainer. I'll keep that around. That's a lot of looks at Swords to Plowshares, which means I don't have to sacrifice my Snapcaster Mage for no value. Flame of Anor versus Flow State here. I have an instant in the graveyard. Yeah, it's Flame of Anor all day, every day. I need another mana, but hopefully I have time thanks to Stony Silence. Inventor's Fair. That is online. All right, I have to take some amount of beats here. All right, land, big money. Magic's easy. Okay, I'm going to pass the turn. See what opponent wants to do in this world that we live in together. I'm going to attack with Undertrap. Got to win somehow. All right, we'll see if there's an end step Inventor's Fair activation. And if so, what that informs me to do. Like, if they end step Inventor's Fair for Razormane Masticore, I might just have to hold on to this flame for a minute. Okay. I don't think Glaring Fleshraker can get too deadly in one turn here. Like, I can take an attack for 2 from Fleshraker to avoid getting masticated. They have exactly enough to activate Inventor's Fair and then play a Masticore right now. And I'm not quite ready for that, so let's just try to fade it. Artifact is being cast from their hand. A redundant One Ring. Okay. Target player draws 2, deal 5 to target creature. I'll do this now before I take an extra damage. But they can't Masticore me anymore. At least not this turn. I guess they would have been Hellbent, right? Or no, they did just play the One Ring from hand. But they do need to maintain a card in hand for Masticore to do Masticore things. Cycle Lorien. I'll get a backup Volcanic Island. And I think I'd like to put Lurrus in my hand this turn. I have a card I won't even miss if I have to pitch to force some negation. That's the mental misstep. Okay, here we go. They are on the hunt for an artifact from their deck. Argentum Masticore confirmed. They've got Masticore and one other card in hand. I do have all of my answers to this thing in my deck. Oh, I can't Flame of Nor this anyway. Protection from multicolor matters. Okay, so if I play the second Stony... Oh no, don't play a card. Don't do it. Homie, your Masticore just died. One of these lessons we learned the hard way. Yeah. Oops. Okay. Yeah. If you haven't played with a lot of Masticores in your life, going all the way back to the first one, and then Razormane had some play for a while, Argentum now being played, keeping a card in your hand is an essential part of playing with those. Okay. I think I like my configuration. We're going back in. These Force of Negations are kind of cramping my style here. I'm going to keep this hand. I guess Force Negation plus Swords to Plowshares covers most spreads. One could argue I'm supposed to counter the Grim Monolith. One could argue I'm supposed to counter the Manifold Key. I kind of like just being diamond hands in a lot of these matchups. Okay, you can have that thing. All right, so 2 cards in hand. It's going to cost you one of them to keep this around, and then I can plow this at any point where I feel like I don't want to take 5 anymore. Yeah, like, if I'm willing to take 15 damage here, the Argentum Masticore is going to cost my opponent 3 cards. I don't really want to play chicken with that, though. I'll just take my 2 for 1 and be happy with it. Time Vault. Fuck off. No, 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 no. Flow State versus Thundertrap Trainer here is worth thinking about. Thundertrap Trainer sees more cards, but Flow State can take a wider range of cards. I think Trainer is better than Flow State right now. And with Time Vault exiled, they need to Raker combo me or find Karn to get that out of exile. Thundertrap Trainer, fill me up. Force of Will versus Stock Up. It's Stock Up here. That turns on Flow State, and I already have a Force. It's potentially the wrong one. Strip Mine face up to deal with that Saga. Okay, cool. That locks my 3rd land Profits in place. Deck. Untapping the Grim Monolith. Tez. That's going to be a no way Jose from me. I'm starting to run out of stuff to do, but that's Stock Up's job to fix that. Cycle for a red land, fetch for the Surveil land, get the most out of my options here. Thunder Trap. I think I'm going to bin that. I'd rather have a Counterspell or a Stony Silence here, and Lurrus can recoup that later. I'm going to roll the dice that there are blue cards in my deck. Okay, Stony Silence, Flame of Anor. Hook that to my veins. Hopefully opponent just takes a turn off, doesn't have something good to do, but if they do have something, Horse can pitch Flame, and then I can stick Stony. And if they don't do anything, then I stick the Stony and I still have Flame of Anor up for the future. Hell yeah. and backed up with consigned to memory. The corner has been turned, folks. And this game, unlike the last one, I wisely drew 0 artifacts instead of 2 to step on with my own Stony Silence. Scrawly crawly. No thanks. That's one of a small number of things that still matters in this matchup. And Flame of Anor does draw the cards before it kills the thing. I'm buying Lurrus. Another spell. I hope it's the One Ring. Trinisphere. Okay, that one I don't care about. That's fine. Urza Saga. Let's go. The hits keep coming. Flame of Anor. I'll draw 2 and destroy Trinisphere. Okay. I ended up stepping on my own tail after all by drawing 2 artifacts after confidently saying I wisely drew 0 this game. Turns out they're still in my deck, but I hope that my opponent is drawing a bunch of artifacts that can't be activated too. Tez, okay. A little spooky. Is there a Stonecoil Serpent or like some body that can impact the board here positively for you? Vexing Bauble, sure. And because there's a Stony Silence in play, that Bauble can't be sacrificed. These are just the rules now. Do I even mess with Tez, or do I just go face? I think I go face. I'm trying to win this game. And I can hardcast Force if I need to. I'll just make constructs and smash if I don't need to. Okay, Mishra's Workshop from hand. Tez untaps Grim Monolith. That doesn't tap. Massacre doesn't work as a top deck here because you're Hellbent. Construct. Flame of Anor. Is the second construct important? I don't think it's better than Flame of Anor. Okay. I'm going to tutor Pithing Needle and name Tezzeret. Tezzeret, Cruel Captain. He's also been a Cruel Machinist. He's had a lot of cruel careers in his life. What a weird guy. What a jerk, really. Okay. I could Flame of Anor the Vexing Bauble, or I could just not. That does unlock my Force of Will. Okay, I will unlock my Force of Will. Target player draws 2, destroy Vexing Bauble. Holy moly. Pew, 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 pew. Dump out all this stuff. This just makes my construct huge. Attack my opponent's life points directly. Wasteland the Workshop. I don't know how I lose this game. Go. Tap the Ancient Tomb. Go out like a boss. We got the GGs. Okay, yeah, I just got overrun game 1. Opponent made a sequencing error game 2. And then game 3, I did what I'm supposed to do. Lots of counterspells, lots of interaction, and eventually I just had cards and they didn't. On to the next one.
The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here.
I am on the play in round 3 versus BlackDex99, who has historically been a dredge grinder, and I do have this strip mine. I have reports from some of my other friends who play Vintage that BlackDex has been branching out a little bit. Being the known as a dredge player is pretty tough in the small community of online Vintage players, but my hand also has Force Negation in it if this is the dupe. Multiple 5 doesn't smell like a dupe. It was not a dupe. A Bazaar of Baghdad. Reaping Chill, Mindbreak Trap, Hollow One. Alright, I don't like that guy. I can block him though. Oh, you got 2 of them? That's tough. Okay. Got some work to do here. Cycle Lorien revealed in the end step. I'm going to grab a Tundra. And my opponent, notably, did not discard a Dredger. Hey, look at me. Look how smart and handsome I am. Look how huge my shoes are. Okay, do I strip mine here? If they have a second Bazaar, the strip mine's actually quite bad because I need to play Magic. All right. I'm going to stop in their draw step. Like, I'll pass priority here. Okay, in the draw step. Now I'll plow. I was just seeing if they were going to Bazaar in the upkeep to try to start dredging. Force pitching, stock up. This gives me flow state online. I guess I had it anyway. Okay. Well, fuck me. That makes sense why Bazaar was not activated. All right, game on. Another mana would go a long way. Right now, I'd really like to kill this Bazaar, but right now I actually can't afford to. Oh, where were you a second ago, you smelly dick? All right, I'm gonna flow state. This is Con Queso. Archive plow. I need the plow. I guess I need to take the archive too. Shame that wasn't Tundra. Stock up to the bin. And I'm gonna be at 4. Maybe worse if they get a good run going here. Jeez, Narcomoeba and Prize Amalgam off the Dredge 3. Pretty good 3. Okay, yep. Got smoked by the control half of this deck. So what I need to do here is like chain together Time Walk into a bunch of other action. That's not Time Walk. Yeah, none of this is good enough. Brutal. Yeah, that's Dredge for you. And it's not like that hand was sculpted. It's like a brilliant maneuvering of cards into the perfect hand. It's like you just got to keep the first hand you see that has a Bazaar in it, and it happened to have hollow one, force backup mental misstep against my exact interaction. Oy, oy, oy. Also, if I just had another mana available in my own hand, then I could have strip mined and at least cut off the second wave from coming. Tough. All right, that's fine. That's Dredge. That's vintage. That's what we signed up for. Mental misstep does not do much. Don't need my island. These cori-steel cutters actually quite poor here. And maybe just I haven't played a mirror match yet where cori-steel cutter would really shine. Like this is my psychic frog analog, my orcish bowmaster analog. Haven't really done any of that yet. I've just been playing against decks where it's my job to not die. And as a control deck, maybe we'll just find ourselves in that position so often that cori-steel cutter doesn't make sense. It would be nice to trigger it once in this league. I don't know if it's going to happen. Certainly not this match because I'm boarding them out. I think I can afford to shave a Flusterstorm. I don't like shaving the good counter magic because, like we saw that game, they frequently have one moment of force of vigor or force of will to really push their plan through. And if you miss on that, like if they win that counter war, you lose. Like me drawing that force of will right after the showdown. But I think I want all these other cards in, and I am boarding in 9 cards against them. Let's try it. Oof. All right. I mean, I have Wasteland and Urza Saga, which can get Pithing Needle or Soul Guide Lantern or Tormod's Crypt. This is not bad enough to mulligan, though I wish it was better. Saga, Sapphire. Shield's completely down to Force of Vigor. Here's Bazaar. Main phasing this, looking for Griefs and Hollow Ones. That's why you would do this now. Griefing me does not meaningfully change my hand. One of my stock ups gone. A Mox here, so Saga can actually do stuff, is sick. And we did convert. Waste the Bazaar. Mox Pearl from the top rope. And I think I do like getting on board with constructs more than I like casting stock up right here. Dredge Grave Troll hits Narcomoeba, which does turn on that first amalgam. Second Bazaar, hell yeah. We love when our Dredge opponents keep 7 and have double Bazaar. Creeping Chill's gonna roast me for a bunch, and then there is another amalgam rolled over and Silver Smoke Ghoul. I'm gonna lose this game so hard. I don't have a Tabernacle. I can't really. Or I'm making the constructs, so I actually do have bodies that can battle here. Okay. I might be able to limp over this finish line. 2 Creeping Chills accounted for. Ancestral Recall. I do like that card, obviously. But I need Graveyard Hate, and I need another 4/4 in play. Is Pithing Needle good enough? Icarid is already in this graveyard. So I have Soul Guide Lantern, Tormod's Crypt, and Pithing Needle are options here. Pithing Needle turns off Bazaar. There's an Icarid and the ability to slow dredge a single Stinkweed Imp and 2 Shambling Shells. I think Bazaar being off will do more for me than... I guess I should actually count. So 3, 6, 7, 8. I take 8 next turn at minimum. If a Creeping Chill rolls over, I might take 11. If they both roll over, I'm dead. All right, I'm going to need a Bazaar. Bazaar of Big Dad. Okay. I got big booties. You've got flyers. I gotta grind this one out fair now. There are 2 Griefs in the graveyard that my opponent won't miss being there. They don't have to exile any of their dredgers. A Dredge 5 hit another Shambling Shell, but no actual money. Okay, who is it harder to bring back? It's harder to bring back Silver Smoke Ghoul, because Icarid's literally right there. Prized Amalgam can come back. All right, I'm at 6. Icarus dies. Ancestral Recall, target myself. Did not find Graveyard Hate. I can potentially flow state into a Tormod script here. Mox Jet, Swords to Plowshares. Swords to Plowshares is very good. Mox Jet is worse than Soul Ring. Okay. These are in my hand now. I have to survive this turn. That means no creeping chills. Gotta fade a 2-outer on a Dredge 3. Or a Dredge 4. There is a Thug there. All right. I'm at 1. Okay, did not bother attacking with the Icarid. Okay, I'm at 1. All this shit comes back. Silver Smoke Ghoul. Prized Amalgam. A stock up. How do I actually survive? I'm likely to have to plow my own creature. Oh, Soul Ring. Stock up. I can't Force of Will or fetch anymore. Tormod's Crypt is one of the things I was looking for. Tormod's Crypt, and it's got to be... Oh god, that Time Walk is so tempting. Does Time Walk do anything? Okay, so the constructs will be 7/7s with the Tormod's Crypt in play. 6/6s without them. Oh, that's tight. Is this even possible to survive? So block, take 6. Or Icarid's there too. So it's block, take 9. Oh, so I'm just dead anyway. Oh no, I'm gonna crypt them, so the Icarid's not there. So block, take 7 or 5. I just don't even know how to count. Block, take 5. Gain 6. I'm at 2. Plowing another construct is very similar to casting Time Walk. I'm gonna take Time Walk. And then I have to play this tapped land. Wasteland is no longer helping me. Tormod Script, get in there. I'm just gonna crypt now because if Icarid triggers, I lose. And pass the turn. Here comes everybody. It's block. Oh, yeah, plow my own creature. Block, plow. Did we missed up already? Okay. I'm at 2. Can this be done? The hero moment comes for us all. I can fetch now to 1, which means I can't force anymore. I have to assume their hand is bad. I'm going to stock up first. Flame of Anor. That can start stabilizing. A Flame of Anor and Soul Guide Lantern versus Strip Mine. They will get to 7 cards eventually, or 8 cards and discard to hand size again. Do I want this mana? I'm not going to Strip Mine them. What does my turn look like? So I take Strip Mine, I go Thundertrap Trainer and Time Walk with Flame Anor in my hand. All right, I will take the Strip Mine. Strip Mine, Time Walk, Thundertrap. Thundertrap finds Swords to Plowshares. Attack for 5. Pushing back. Walk turn. Lurrus is still over here too. That could be a resource. Oh, if I kill a Narcomoeba with Flame of Anor, then I don't have to plow my own creature. I could start plowing their creatures. Oh, I have to fetch down to 1. Okay, no, that's not there. Yeah, I have to fetch down to 1 to turn on red, which I currently don't have. All right. I guess I'll just do that then. That has to happen. Red, blue, Flame of Anor. Deal 5 to Narcomoeba. I draw 2 cards. I have to plow a Narcomoeba. Oh, they've had enough. Okay, the plow is face up. Wow, what a battle. Man, Dredge is stressful, but fun to play against. What a ridiculous puzzle to solve. I am submitting my same deck here. I could have a Braden that's just another spot removal spell that gets all their 3/3s and the hollow one. I guess I have to keep this. Sucks I'm on the draw. Please don't grief me. I do have the Wasteland anyway. Imp, Narcomoeba. Hollow one. Or not Narcomoeba. A Chalice, no! These restricted cards will be the death of me. Fuck off. The fucking hollow one. Or the fucking Tormod script. Chalice of the Void. Why would you do this to me? Okay. Slow dredging. They hit Narcomoeba, which is not going to bring anything back with it. Okay, no follow-up. I'm going to play this Flooded Strand. Here's Icarid. There is a grief it can eat now. Stinkweed Imp hit Creeping Chill, but that does not trigger Prized Amalgam. flying by the skin of my ass here. I'm at 5. Oh, the Silver Smoke Ghoul from last turn. Wow, that Chalice of the Void, bro. Okay, yeah, we have seen all of the perfect thin margins Dredge can offer here. Like, without Hollow One, I have enough time to develop. Without Chalice, they're just basically loose on turn 1. But obviously, that's why you put all these cards in your deck. I'm not on tilt. I'm just hyped by vintage Magic. And even if this Silver Smoke Ghoul wasn't here, I would just have to chump block for a turn, the Hollow One. Garrodi. Okay. Yeah, the Activate Bazaar one time. I'm never even close to winning this game. Though on the play, I win the game every time. Yeah, vintage. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I am on the play versus another non-Lurrus deck in round 4. This Meticulous Archive bumming me out a little, but I am going to keep the hand. Play Archive tapped. I think I do want a Mox Emerald, and I'll pass the turn. Mox Emerald means that if I just get Wastelanded here, I could still cast Ancestral next turn. Black Lotus. No, 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 no. My hand is weak enough that I think Force Negation on Black Lotus is the play. Oh, an opponent had no follow-up to that. Wow. Are you White Initiative that went all in on that shit? I mean, exciting if true. Ancestral myself. And Flow State's not quite on. It will be on next turn. Wasteland. I may have just tunnel visioned a little bit on getting Flow State on next turn and forgot that I could play Thundertrap Trainer right now. That was sloppy. Volcanic Island. Okay. Either that was just drawn, or this is weird. I'll grab a Volcanic Island as well, and I'm going to Wasteland. I don't want you to have Spell Pierce mana on my turn. Floating a red, cycling a Lorien. Oh, wow, they failed to find. That must have been a misclick when they went into their deck. That's awkward. Okay, so it is a non-Lurrus deck with Lorien Revealed and Volcanic Island in it. I have to imagine that's some sort of big Tinker deck like we played against earlier. Here is the sideboard map I was happy with before. Let's see if I bet right. Okay, Force of Negation again. I will keep. Despite having 4 Force of Wills and significantly fewer Force of Negations, I have drawn Force of Negation in basically every game. I did briefly pause to consider forcing that Mana Crypt, and that might have been a heads-up play to make. But now that I know they're a spell combo deck, I'm a lot more interested in being discerning about this thing. Though now, of course, it looks like it would have been really smart to force that, waste them, and then be off with it. Meticulous Archive, trying to develop some options here. I don't think I want another Strip Mine, and I will play out my Mox Jet. Yeah, I snap forced the Lotus last game because I thought they might be White Initiative, and anything that makes 2 mana or more, you should force a negation if you can against them. But that's not what they were. Okay. Yeah, the opportunity to stop them from having cards, I think, has passed. I need to try to squeeze their end game. Maybe it's just wrong, and I should force a negation the Mana Crypt. I'd be willing to believe that. Flow State, that's 2 more cards. This is the thing that everyone's trying to do right now, and my opponent's doing it a lot better than me. They do need to play some stuff, while they'll end up discarding to hand size. And it doesn't look like they have a bunch of Moxen, so that draw 5 was more like a draw 5, discard 2. A loot, if you will. Oh, Vivi in this deck. Okay, I don't think that wasting them matters at this point. Vexing Bauble resolves. I can cast Force of Negation. Larian Academy, that one's pretty good. Vivi resolves. Merchant Scroll. I will kill Vivi in response to the Merchant Scroll, or in response to the Vivi trigger. 5 to target creature. That one. I don't have a wizard. Rainstorm. Okay. Right, now I am going to Wasteland this Academy and hold up Force of Negation for another turn. Maybe they'll die to their crypt. We've got a plan. Impossible. Brainstorm happens. Brainstorm is a pretty underwhelming mystical tutor target. And Ancestral's already in the graveyard, so that makes sense. But what else would you have? Like PO for 2. Is that better than brainstorming here? I'm not even sure. Thunder Trap. Here they go. They're doing it for real now. Actual cards appearing. Force a negation in your hand. Urza's Saga. Gonna have to spend time wasting that again. Wasteland your Urza's Saga. That will defeat me. And I have an instant in the graveyard, but not a sorcery. Okay, we got a crit flip. They're a quarter of the way dead. Underground Sea revealed. I'm gonna strongly prefer that doesn't happen. Okay, cracking off your Mistress or your Vexing Bauble. You have the Force of Will. Okay, you win this fight. Now what? Like, there's not a Lotus in the graveyard. They could like Academy, Bauble, Ancestral. Mox Sapphire came from their hand. That's pretty good. Or wait, did they play the Underground Sea this turn? So they can't Academy. This is likely to just be a little reload. And by little, I mean huge reload. Soul Ring. That could cast Vexing Bauble from the graveyard if you want that. But unless Black Lotus is in their hand right now, Gitaxian Probe, you get that one on the house. Bauble's back. And immediately cycled it off to draw a card. They're still swinging for the fences right now. Okay. I mean, as far as resolved Yogg Wheels go, that could have been worse. Okay. I know they have a Force of Negation in hand, but I'm going to make it cost 2 cards if they want to fight over stock up. Which is actually a good fight, because this also turns on Flow State. This is worth so many more cards than the cards it appears to be worth, which is already a lot. Yeah, there it goes. That's the turn. I don't feel good about my position, but I need this Mana Crypt to convert. They have enough material now that if they found a paradoxical outcome, they're off to the races. Stock up into stock up. My brain continues to tickle with what if I just force this Mana Crypt, and maybe that is a play pattern I need to adopt. Like, that was already a close decision before Flow State, and now with Flow State, it's probably closer to right than it was before. I'm going to fetch for a Volcanic Island. Okay, I've got a face up Snap Flame or Snap Force of Negation, and also a secret second Force of Negation. Thundering Falls. Grip down to 6. This is real money. We're getting there. Thunder Trap Trainer Conque, so I cannot interact with this. Unfortunately, if they just find Tinker, they're good. Black Lotus and Force of Will. There's the Black Lotus. Yeah, resolves. A Mana Crypt is genuinely my win con here. I'm going to end step go for this Snapcaster. I think it's going to get countered, but I would like to do something and start testing their hand. I don't think having Snapcaster in play is worth the Force of Negation for my hand. Wasteland, huh? I guess I can play a Sad Boy Flow State here and still hold up Force. Flow State stock up. Flow State is on now, the second copy. I'll think about that later. Wasteland. Versus Saga's already spent. Academy's already spent. I guess I'll just take you off black then. Floated a blue. Something's happening. Hall Breacher. Dirty, dirty. Okay, do I want to Flow State right now? I have Flusterstorm and Swords to Plowshares I could hit as useful cards. I'm going to go for it. There's a... Oh, I literally forgot we're in a sideboard game. Like, the game one was so fast that I genuinely forgot that Pyroblast was an out I was trying to. Okay. All right. Mana Crypt is still my win con here. Shit. They want to flip. That's bad. Oh, I actually boarded out my Swords to Plowshares too. I just fully botched that because I forgot what game it was because game one was so hilarious. All right, this looks like a hardcast Bolas' Citadel, which I am not going to fight over. Yeah, you're at 6. Maybe I should have fought over that, because if they have one more non-land permanent, I can actually lose right now. Just attack me for 6, and then play a Mox, sack your board. Flame of Anor, your own Mana Crypt. I'm out of win conditions. Okay. Oh, whoops. Yeah, that was awkward on that last turn. This match flying by. Okay, it is game 3, and I don't have Swords to Plowshares in my deck, but I do have Pyroblast. And I've seen Hall Breacher now, but that doesn't change my lack of interest in Swords to Plowshares. Okay, I'm gonna keep this and just hope I am allowed to function for a turn. Archive, Pyroblast I like. Surely a vintage player would not just keep a hand with tap land go. My opponent has to respect Force of Will here. And they did. Good. Okay, I'm gonna hold up Pyroblast for a cycle and then try to stick the Stony Silence, or I might not even need to do that, depending on what their payoffs look like. Well, now they know. We have a chance to cut some cori-steel. It's a little awkward with the Pyroblast. I actually can't fetch in the end step because they could Ancestral in response. Okay, something's happening. They saw my hand and decided it was time to take some actions. Hexing Squelcher. Okay, well, now I can fetch in the end step. Get a Valk. Soul Ring. That's exactly what I want when I'm about to cast Stony Silence. Well, I will cast Stony Silence all the same, and their Force of Will can't be countered. But they haven't played out any artifacts either. Did they even care about this? And I think I should play out the Soul Ring, even though it's a little wonky, because if they remove my Stony Silence, I want to be able to play. And I just have Flame of Anor to deal with Hexing Squelcher. I could have held back Soul Ring to trigger cori-steel Cutter for sure next turn, but I'm going to be casting Stock-Ups and Flow States for the foreseeable future. Time Walk. All right. Brainstorm into Time Walk is not that impressive of a turn. Cycling Lorien. For Thundering Falls. Wow. This is not the signs of somebody who is doing what they want to do in a game of Vintage. Oh my god. Well, there's that card I said. I'm going to rip off this Stock-Up straight into whatever Flusterstorm, Pyroblast, Spell Pierce they have, but this is the best play I have, and I'm not really bluffing anything. Merchant Scroll. Yep. Ancestral. I hope you just drew 3 Moxen. That's actually pretty decent. So if I play cori-steel Cutter and then Mox Jet, I can at least stop the bleeding from Squelcher. Alright, it is going to trigger at least once this league. It might not win the game, but it triggered. It happened. And I think I am on defense. Cori-steel Cutter defense. Not what you dream about when you put it in your deck. VV. Okay, I'm allowed to Pyroblast that. I can Pyroblast VV and then Flow State is on, and that also triggers cori-steel Cutter. Destroy target permanent if it's blue. This might cost me a bunch of life to do, but it is happening. Mental Misstep. That stings. But I can't interact with it, so okay. I think I'm going to get burned out by this VV. Flow State, online. Force of Willing, that. Still triggers cori-steel Cutter. Still gaming. Still don't have any attacks. My opponent now has a 2/5 in play. And this is when you cast a non-creature spell. So if they have had a bunch of Moxen locked in their hand, VV's going to go nuts with them. It's pretty cool since I started really digging in for... Okay, Demonic Tutor, I'm dead. For digging in for NYSE, the number of times I've played against VV in Vintage, that card's annoying in lower power formats, but in Vintage, it's totally sweet. Hexing Squelcher, though, this thing is going to be a moving target. Hexing Squelcher by itself actually might talk me out of playing these grindy blue decks like this. And like the frog decks are still there and everything, but Hexing Squelcher being this thing that's so contrary to this thing, which is Swords to Plowshares, that I don't want in my deck. All right, I'm good. I've seen enough. GG. I won't say I was soloed by Hexing Squelcher there, but it hurt a lot. And maybe, I mean, the PO builds of this deck will have Portable Hole in them, a generic answer to something like Squelcher, so you don't have to have specifically Swords to Plowshares in your deck after sideboard. Maybe with Hull Breacher, I should have had one in anyway. I don't remember if I saw a VV until game 3, though. Did they mill one over or something? I feel like maybe they did. And maybe I just should have had Plow in even without knowing about Squelcher, even 1 or 2 as an out. Okay. I'm working hard for losses here. That's a sign that maybe this deck isn't what I want to be doing. On to the final round. July 24th through 26th, Excalibur Events will be running one of their 3-day weekends in Columbus, Ohio. This event will feature a CEDH 25K, Riftbound tournaments, sorcery tournaments, and Magic side events, including, on Sunday, a pre-modern 5K, which I will be attending and participating in. If you want to come compete, sign up in the link in the video description and use code KOVAL for $5 off entry. I'll see you there. I'm on the play in the final round. We've got a Lurrus mirror of some kind. I will keep, and I'm just going to lead on my Flooded Strand here. I kind of hope this is Dimir or Esper Lurrus so we get real reps against a top deck. Like, we're kind of trying to emulate that experience, but in a way that is meaningfully different, like a different color spread. Can I actually hang versus Psychic Frog and Orcish Bowmaster? I don't think I want another Force of Will. Wasteland. Bang that right out there. And now opponent has to think really hard when and how they're going to use this fetch land. Misty Rainforest, curious item to be in a deck. I don't actually need to cycle this Lurian Revealed, so I won't. Oh, baby. Alright. We might finally get to test cori-steel Cutter. I was just going to jam stock up, but now I don't necessarily have to. Do I want to do it anyway? Yeah, I guess I do. That's likely to make my next turn just better. Or flush out a counterspell. I can misstep a Spell Pierce, which is nice. I cannot misstep a Flusterstorm. I could misstep and force it, but that's catastrophic cost. Underground Sea. Psychic Frog. I'm going to force that pitching misstep. I think I need the Lurian Revealed. Forcing me back, pitching misdirection. Interesting. Could have misdirected the force and saved a life there, unless you'd rather have Force of Will in your graveyard for reasons. Alright, check this shit out. Cycle Lorian. Get Valk. Valk. Cori-steel Cutter. Swords to Plowshares. I have just turned on Spell Pierce and Flusterstorm by taking this line, but I've also executed my game plan. Alright, misstep was going to get me anyway. Okay, we are in here on the cori-steel Cutter thing. See if I can make it go anywhere against this Psychic Frog. Jumping the Frog. Oh my god, we're Doomsday? I'm just dead? Wow, got my ass. Yeah, maybe the misdirection should have hinted me off there that this is what's going on. Yeah, I think I'm just literally dead. Because now they draw one card, and in a vintage deck, that card should be good enough. You got to give Doomsday the chance to mess up. I think this is the death knell for cori-steel Cutter. Though, if this was just regular Dimir Frog, I might be okay with this card right now. I don't even know if that's true. Yeah, I think you want 1 or 0 of these. Maybe there's a build with 4. But really what I'm thinking is, with the amount of card advantage these decks generate, Lurrus is not necessary anymore. Like, pre-flow state, pre-stock up, Lurrus was that late game reload. But if you never run out of cards, why do you need to reload in the late game? Oh, had the Ancestral Recall. Don't even need the Psychic Frog. They're just making fun of me here. Alright, yep. Thoughtseize my Soul Guide Lantern. Black Lotus. Thassa's Oracle with 3 Devotion. That'll do. Yeah, I got all the way smoked on that one. Okay. This is the Lurrus Frog Doomsday deck. Pyroblast covers Frog and other stuff, where Plow only covers Frog, but Frog is important to cover, so I can't go like 0 on that. Maybe a couple consigns in here. One of these cutters can leave. And the basic island. Yeah, I think this is the move here. Now that I know what I'm up against. Soul Guide Lantern doesn't do a ton here, but it might make a Frog unable to jump for a turn, which could be important. If the game comes down to Lurrus, I can bonk their graveyard and they can't bonk mine. Oh, look at this powerful hand. I will keep. Alright, I will pull it to the side and get all up in it for once. Mindbreak Trap. And a bunch of Ponders. Okay. Oh, there's a Force Negation as well. Sure. Same difference. I'll Ancestral in their upkeep. Ancestral me. That is flow state on and operational. Oh, come on. Really? I mean, okay. Resolves. Vintage, baby. Just ripping that off into an 8-card hand. They had the reads. Okay, my Ancestral is in the graveyard. That's one of my weapons to get them here, but I do have perfect information. I can time walk into a flow state turn, and that from there I'm looking for like multiple forces and consign to memory. I could also just force a negation my time walk and untap and win. And that's why you put a combo in your deck. The opponent's at 10. Do I think I can deal 10 damage real quick? Oh, look what showed up. I hate you so much, Magic the Gathering. Okay. I'm going to walk, see if they just want to rip off counter on this. Force pitching Mindbreak Trap. Okay, so the hand is 2 Ponders. They don't know I just drew Force of Negation, which I fucking obviously would have cast it last turn if I had access to it. I would be surprised if it's good enough here. Thoughtseize. I mean, yep. Assuming they put a fetchable land in their stack, they're going to win right now. Now they ponder into Gush, Gush into Lotus, and that's that. Ooh-wee, that's vintage. I mean, I had the information, and I wouldn't have played differently if I had different information. Like, I would still Ancestral. Yep, cool. Never playing around that 4-outer in my life. Okay, tough outing with this deck. I think the cori-steel cutter thing, I boarded it out in almost all matchups. In some cases, I shaved 1, which makes me think maybe 1 is just the right number if we're going to do it at all. But also, 0 seems like a reasonable number. And I'm only exploring cori-steel cutter because I wanted to maintain Lurrus. But if we don't need Lurrus, and I could just play cards like Monastery Mentor and Tinker, that seems actually much more appealing to me. Like the concept of PO-less PO. If we are not paradoxically outcoming Thundertrap Trainer, part of that is that you could pick it up with PO or spend a PO's worth of fast mana to kick this. And I was not kicking this very often, never really close to kicking it. In fact, Flame of Anor was great though. It always is. Jeskai builds of this deck are putting up trophy 5-0s and showing up in challenge top 8s. This deck clearly has the juice. Every card in this deck is a strong vintage card, and then there's tons of ways to tune it as well. But as we saw throughout this league, all of my opponents were bullying me because their deck can just win and mine couldn't. And it's like, that the Dredge player who had 1 Bazaar activation per game, and each one was nut perfect and put me behind and killed me. The Doomsday player who drew Doomsday after I saw their hand and just ripped it off unprotected into an 8-card hand. Sure, if you draw that card and choose to cast it, I can't help myself anymore. I'm just dead. And despite all of the cards in this deck being delightful to cast and to look at, this felt anemic to me, which is also how I felt about PO'd versions as well. I think my further exploration is going to be back to the big blue-white shell. Go back to my home, Monastery Mentor. Boy, I wish I could play 3 of those. That deck would build itself. But after the Mentor, what are your other 1 or 2 ways to win the game outside of your blue-white control deck? That is the question to answer. And then once we answer that question, the second question is this better than Esper Lurrus? And that's a whole separate question I haven't started to think about yet. Anyway, NYSE is a few weeks away. I'll be there. I'll be on some blue deck. How many flow states in that deck? Unclear. How many combo kills in that deck? Unclear. Lurrus in that deck? Unclear. All of it to be determined. But it is fun to explore something new in Vintage. I have enjoyed this series so far. Andy, thanks for the opportunity to play this deck. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon to support the channel. I'll see you next time.